flattering smell. Paimon would know the aroma of biryani anywhere. Let's go get some. We can still add it to the list.
Well, if it isn't the Traveler and Paimon. Wasn't expecting to see you here.
Hello there. Oh, it's been quite a while.
Huh. So you two are still hanging out together. Dia, didn't you say last time that you were gonna head back to the desert?
I said I was going to resign from being her bodyguard, not that our friendship was over. We're still the best of friends. The Holmayanis also still post jobs from time to time. Their pay is always generous, so me and the other mercs never pass them up.
I told Dia to just stay at our place when she took one of those jobs a few days ago. My parents were delighted. They even said that it always felt like we were missing someone whenever Dia wasn't around.
That sounds like something they would say, all right. They're always so welcoming. Anyway, the job is already taken care of, so I was gonna head back to the brigade as soon as I finished a little shopping. But the master kept insisting, and I ended up staying for another day.
You can stay for as many days as you want, Dia. Father hasn't even gotten around to treating you to his best dishes yet.
You know I'm not the kind of person to stay put in one place like that, my lady. Don't worry, though. There'll always be next time.
But she said they'll treat you to the best dishes! Paimon can't believe you can still refuse that!
But wait. Didn't you say last time that you would take me on a trip to the desert? Why don't you just take me with you today, when you leave? There are so many places I still haven't visited yet.
I'm sorry, my lady, but no can do. There's still a few things I need to take care of back at the brigade. Besides, the desert hasn't exactly been the most peaceful place lately.
Oh, come on. Not this again. That's also what you said last time and the time before that.
I know, I'm sorry. Just give me some more time, and I promise I'll plan the best trip ever for you.
All right, fine. To be perfectly honest, it's not that I wanted to go, it's more like I feel like something is off about you lately. Ever since you first set foot on the estate a few days ago, you've been acting anxious and even paranoid. Have you been delaying our trip because you've run into some kind of trouble?
Nah, are you kidding? You're worrying too much.
Would you swear on that? Friends shouldn't lie to each other, you know. I wouldn't pry any further if you're willing to swear on what you just said. But if something really is bothering you, then just tell me. You know I'll help you however I can.
Oh, looks like Junior's was onto something.
You're too perceptive, my lady. Seems I can't hide anything from you. I just thought that nothing good could come out of telling you about the messy happenings of mercenaries. Knowing too much only leads to more trouble. Mercenary life is a dog-eat-dog world where Mora reigns supreme. Everything operates on a completely different set of rules.
That doesn't change anything about what I just said, though. We're still friends, and I can only support you if I understand what's bothering you.
My lady, you're not gonna stop until you drag it out of me, are ya? All right, I'll share what I know. Let's go somewhere else first. This isn't exactly the best place for a discussion. Okay, let's talk here. Just try not to draw any extra attention. As you may already know, the Eremites have both a lot of mercenaries and a complex organizational structure. Many mercs are no different than me, just going around looking for jobs to earn some mora. My brigade is called the Blazing Beasts. We're not a large group, but every member is loyal and brave. However, not all Eremite brigades are like mine. Some are willing to cross all kinds of lines for the sake of mora. The most notorious is a faction known as Deshret's Relics.
Deshret's Relics? Judging from the name, they must really look up to...
Yep, you got it. I've heard that you've already crossed paths with Ain al-Akmar. They're one of the groups under the Relic's banner.
Oh, you mean the group that tried tried to sell us the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Yeah, they weren't friendly at all.
Deshret's Relics is composed of many smaller brigades like Ain al-Ahmar. The Relic's headquarters issues orders to all brigades under his control. On any other day, I would want nothing to do with them. Unfortunately, though, the brigade that's stirring up trouble now is none other than Dakan al-Ahmar.
Dakan?
I think it means beard or something. Believe me, it's a really stupid name. I found it insufferable for years. Anyway, the real issue is that Dakan al-Ahmar is led by my father, Kusela.
Say what now?
I think I'm starting to understand your anxiety now. But what did they do?
I won't go into details, my lady, but they've been involved in a lot of violent incidents. We're talking hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yep. The scenes tend to be quite gruesome, too. They strip the victims of all their valuables before murdering them. Not only have they targeted merchant caravans and ordinary citizens, but other mercenary brigades as well.
That's beyond terrible. They won't even spare their own kind.
I don't know how Deshret's Relic sees it. All I do know is that Dakan al-Ahmar has become more and more aggressive over the last few years. If I don't do something about them, then even my brigade or the people of Aru village could become their next target. I just wish I knew what's driven him to do this.
Yeah. How can your father do such terrible things?
I don't know. People change. He's always been pretty pathetic. But at least in the past, there were still a few lines that he wouldn't cross.
That's setting the bar pretty low.
I mean, if he was even remotely decent, then why would I have to leave the brigade and cut all ties with him? He was loud and foolish, with no real sense of purpose. Instead of doing anything useful, he spent most of his time drinking and chasing after women. Of course, the other brigade members were just like him. Their ruckus would go on night after night.
Sounds like a nightmare.
What about your mother? Did she ever step in to stop them?
Unfortunately, I never knew my mother.
I'm sorry, Dia. I didn't know.
It's all right, my lady. That's pretty common in mercenary circles. Didn't I mention that my father was chasing after women? I was the result of one of those encounters with some random person. He told me that he wasn't sure who my mother was. And in any case, she never came to see me. He'd say, "You'll be fine as long as you remember to stick with Dad." But even then, he left most of the parenting to the brigade. The one thing I do remember is that he used to tell me stories. But the problem was that he had terrible taste. He only knew a few stories, and even those tended to be pretty stale. They were tales of desert warriors defeating dragons in the forest, or stories of mercenaries rescuing princesses from rebel armies.
Sounds like your typical fairy tales.
More or less, yeah. They were interesting maybe the first or second time around, but after about 20 repeats, they started to get a little dull. He seemed to think those stories were the best things ever, though. He was so into them that he'd call the whole brigade over and make them perform the whole thing as a play. Even the toys he gave me would all be story props. I'd get helmets, shields, and toy swords. It was only much later when I realized that the shows were more for him than they ever were for me.
What an interesting guy.
Yeah, I've always found him pretty childish, but that was something I could just shrug off. I had no reason to despise him. Until I grew up and learned the true face of Deshret's Relics for myself. Looting, blackmail, violence, and fraud. They not only accepted such heinous acts, they would even openly boast about them. No one in the brigade was any kind of hero. Instead, my father and his cronies were more like the bad guys that needed to be taken down. Did they really think that as long as they didn't do any of that stuff right in front of me, I would never know?
I think I can understand your feelings. The difference between perception and reality must have hit hard.
Yeah, but don't worry, my lady. It's all water under the bridge to me now. I had a huge argument with my father and left that place behind for good. I'm not investigating them due to any bitter feelings I still have towards my father. I just want to protect those that are close to me. Yeah, I told the boys to gather as much information as they could. Most of the reports concern violent incidents, but there's also some talk of smuggling.
I see. But isn't this investigation incredibly dangerous?
It is, but every mercenary lives life on the edge. It's a lifestyle that I enjoy.
That may be true, but it'll be impossible for those who care about you not to worry.
Well, now you get why I didn't want to share any of this with you.
What should we do? They both have valid concerns.
Huh? But there's no need for you to get caught up in this mess, too.
Well, he's super tough, so if he went into the desert with you, then Paimon bets the problem will be solved in no time.
I'm inclined to agree. I'd feel a lot more at ease if you took him along to help. I'll wait for news from you in the city until then. Please, stay safe.
I'm honored that you care so much for me, my lady. All right, then let's get moving. Our first stop will be Caravan Rebot, where we can catch up a bit with my fellow mercs.
Studying is far less fun than making money.
Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Safwan, a scholar from the Academia, and I will serve as this debate's adjudicator. I swear to judge both parties with the utmost wisdom and impartiality. I will neither interfere with the proceedings nor demonstrate bias. I ask for both parties to stand. May the Dendro Archon also serve as a witness to this duel of wits.
Since you so desperately demand an explanation, I will expound on the Academia's stance. You may have misunderstood us from the outset and believe that the Academia is prejudiced against you. However, the truth is that the Academia wishes for every resident of Sumeru to be afforded opportunities to grow and cultivate their wisdom. Therefore, the works they consume should also possess enlightening qualities and intellectual value. We have failed to identify these qualities in the shows performed at Zubair Theater. In other words, instead of struggling against the Academia in pointless confrontations, if you had spent your time reflecting on improving the quality of your shows and enlightening your audience, Zubair Theater would not be today facing such a tragic fate.
Aggressive from the get-go. He's really putting on the pressure. Can Nilou stand her ground?
Calm down, Nilou. First, carefully analyze what he said. He said that we were shut down not because the Academia looks down on the arts, but rather because our shows aren't up to their standards. However, everyone is free to appreciate art. No form of art is inherently superior. Mr. Zubair has been meticulously managing the theater, everything checks out. Don't think that would make for a good rebuttal.
Art must first be appreciated by others to confer value.
The most important thing about an experience is how you choose to interpret it.
The theater carries everyone's feelings and serves as the bond that connects us all. Inaya really wants to win. She doesn't want to lose anything else because of her painful past. The theater carries everyone's feelings and serves as the bond that connects us all. Don't think that would make for... Don't think that would...
In your eyes, our shows can't meet the Academia's expectations. Shouldn't it be the audience who decides if a show is intellectual or enlightening? Why is someone from the Academia judging that? Also, I believe that there is no such thing as a wiser or more enlightening performance. Art doesn't discriminate, and it appeals to all. Everyone has the right to appreciate art.
Appreciation is but a primitive form of satisfaction. Guidance and enlightenment are necessary if we are to induce growth in the performers as well as the audience. This stance holds performers to a higher standard and encourages the development of the arts. If all performances are simple-minded, require little effort to comprehend, and lack any impetus for the betterment of society, then the people will not be able to develop a greater level of artistic understanding. Nurturing the populace's understanding requires a long and arduous process, and guiding this process is the Academia's true goal.
He changed the topic without batting an eye. Good thing I'm prepared. If I remember correctly, what I should say here is...
The most important thing about an experience is how you choose to interpret it.
No. No.
Art must first be...
Inaya really wants to win. Mr. Zubair has been meticulously managing the theater. No.
Someone at our theater has tried that before. He was a famed artist, but he recognized that very few people could connect with his works. I agree that art should be enlightening, but we can't pursue that goal by creating complicated works. If a work can't tap into an audience's personal experiences or feelings, then its contents may as well be a castle in the sky. What's the point of performing a show that its audience can't even follow? That would only be forcing people to watch something they don't like.
You can only reach that conclusion from a place of ignorance.
In that case, before passing judgment, you should first become a better dancer than me.
You tell them, Nilou.
Looks like he's backed himself into a corner.
As the party holding the burden of proof, Sharif has failed to provide sufficient support for his judgment of the quality of Zubair Theater's programs. Likewise, the definition that Nilou put forth is but her personal opinion. Neither party is the victor for this particular point of contention. Additionally, I must request that both parties exercise greater control on their emotions.
Keep it up, Nilou! You're doing great!
In that case, I shall speak of more concrete matters. The essence of this issue is that you have violated the law, so you must now pay the price for your transgression. This course of action is also completely procedurally sound. We have already contacted Zubair Theater multiple times regarding the theater's repertoire. However, you have consciously ignored our warnings, or perhaps your compliance was purely superficial. Regardless, that failure has indirectly led to the present day's proceedings.
That is indeed so, according to the laws decreed by the Academia.
He started talking about procedural stuff, so I need to focus on...
The most important thing about...
I need to rethink things.
Art must first...
I need to
Mr. Zubair has already provided signed copies of all documentation related to our operations. Everything is perfectly filled out and valid. Although the theater's performances don't align with the Academia's requests, the law doesn't say that Zubair Theater can be demolished only because of that reason. Demolition notices need to be provided in writing and made available to the public. Otherwise, the theater can continue to operate as long as its license is valid. Failing to follow these rules makes your stance procedurally unsound.
Yeah! That's right!
There are different ways to apply the rules. There is precedent for this. So long as this matter is discussed within the Academia, this course of action will come to pass.
Looking at the past 27 cases of similar nature, 90% of them support Sharif's claim and position. However, the demolition process in those cases was only started after discussion at the Academia. In other words, premature notice of demolition is indeed a rash act.
That's more than enough. We've proven that the order is unreasonable as it currently stands.
Cease your futile resistance.
Nilou's definitely won this point, right? You're right. Stay focused, Nilou.
Even if permission for demolition has yet to be obtained, it is a fact that your performances violated the Academia's policies on numerous occasions. Based on that fact, we can permanently revoke your right to perform in Sumeru.
Under the current system, it is indeed possible to immediately revoke Zubair Theater's performing rights.
That's a thing?
Rather than protecting Zubair Theater, I surmise that your true intention is to maintain your hold over your audience and their patronage as your source of income. Without them, Zubair Theater is nothing more than an empty building. And without its performances, the theater has nothing else of value.
What you said isn't true at all.
Keep it cool, Nilou! Right. I need to keep calm, but just a little more. Zubair Theater isn't just a performance venue to us. Everyone is free to appreciate art.
Zubair Theater isn't simply a performance venue to us. It means more than that. It's been our home for a long time. Miss Raykar can't go on adventures anymore, but she has found a stable career and a new life at the theater. Her son, Soren, has already passed his theater exam, and he'll soon be our newest member. Mr. Kasani found a new way to look at art. He decided to stay at the theater to watch us grow. Mr. Farhad and Mr. Hushang visit even when there isn't a show going on, and they always tell us lots of entertaining stories. Even Inaya wants to stay with us, and she's starting to look forward to a new future. Zubair Theater exists for them, for every single one of us.
Perhaps Zubair Theater has provided you with a multitude of positive emotions and experiences. However, you have misconstrued something, young miss. The interpersonal relationships you speak of were established upon normal theater operations. Sheikh Zubair operates the theater for his livelihood. His employees work for their wages, and the audience comes to enjoy performances. Relationships are merely a byproduct in this exchange of interests. They may be pleasant and captivating, but they can only ever be secondary. When scholars collaborate to solve difficult problems, we freely share our knowledge and resources with one another as if we were all kin. However, this collaboration ends after the results of our work are published. The reason is simple. We are scholars, and there are new projects that await our attention.
He really doesn't think much of relationships. Paimon also thinks he did a lot of prep. He's been solid as a rock.
Sharif's argument is currently the more persuasive of the two for this point of contention. The continuance of the interpersonal relationships Nilou spoke of remains hypothetical before the theater's demolition, whereas the situation that Sharif described has been well documented at the Academia. The Academia has made significant academic contributions, in no small part due to its researchers' efficiency and ability to compartmentalize.
Oh no! What should we do? Things are going in the opposite direction! A setup? So Nilou's got him?
Good. He said what he said. The next argument could decide this debate. But is this really the best thing to do? It might be too cruel to Inaya. She already agreed to this. She wants to win, no matter what. Me too.
Mr. Sharif believes that interpersonal relationships are a byproduct of working towards a goal. Once that goal is achieved or abandoned, those relationships would have no more reason to continue. Then, if someone has failed to live up to his expectations...
If someone has failed to live up to your expectations and ran away from home, then she shouldn't be your daughter anymore. Right?
Inaya...
Sorry, Nilou. As expected, I should be the one to say it. You don't need to shoulder this responsibility for me. If in your eyes, the purpose of my existence is to become your academic successor, then that goal has ended in complete failure. By your logic, that means there is no more reason to sustain our relationship as father and daughter.
Members of the audience who do not belong to either debate party, please speak with caution.
Let her speak. What she does not say, Nilou will.
No matter how many disagreements we've had, the truth is that you are still my father. You're so immersed in your own world, you can't understand why we come together for the sake of relationships.
Yeah, don't look down on us.
You can watch a dance anywhere, but there's only one Zubair Theater.
I'm almost starting to feel sorry for this guy, what with the idiotic things he said.
Order! Order! Members of the audience, do not interrupt debate proceedings.
I confess that this is the final argument we had prepared. Disown me, and you will win the debate. But before that, Father, I have some final words to say. I've been doing some soul searching. Not about whether I should have run away from home, but whether there was any point to my personal rebellion against you. I kept trying to earn your approval, but I only disappointed you over and over. The truth is, I ran away from home as a means to vent my recurring frustrations. That is to say, I was exerting pressure on you and hoping you'd give up on your lofty expectations. But by doing that, wasn't I just doing the same thing as you? I won't force my expectations upon you anymore. At Zubair Theater, I have found the life I've always wanted. I will move on from my family troubles and strive towards my new goal. But if you dare to harm this place, then I will stand with my friends here and fight against you.
This is not the time to space out, Sharif. The debate is still underway.
You already consider them to be your friends.
You should be asking us that question.
Of course we are! Miss Inaya is a really good friend.
It was a bit of a process, but we won her over.
Make no mistake. All those who come to Zubair Theater become one of us. We will always be with her.
Such puerile simplicity. However, it is surprisingly a relief.
Wait, what are you... never mind.
They left?
Does that mean we've won?
We won?
Nilou, you're amazing!
I relaxed for a moment and I feel a little faint. It looks like he still has a place for her in his heart.
Terrific work, Nilou and Anaya. They likely won't cause any more trouble for us.
Didn't know you could get so fierce. I have a lot of newfound respect for you two.
This really took a lot out of me, though. I don't ever want to do this again.
Both Miss Nilou and Miss Inaya were so cool!
Should we throw a second round of celebrations?
It's you. Better. The more I think back on everything, the more surreal it all feels. I don't think I could repeat what I did a second time. Yes, and it's all thanks to you. I see. You mean how fate brought me to the theater, right? Then I'll have to tell you about my teacher who Mr. Zubair had mentioned. Mr. Zubair opened his theater when I was still a child. There was a beautiful dancer, and from the moment I saw her, I couldn't look away. I thought to myself, the gods must have blessed her with such talent. But later on, she would actually smile down at me and say, just the opposite, in fact. Yeah. She said, dance is an art born from toil. It isn't a gift from the gods, but a creation by our own hands. It is a beautiful thing born from our life experiences. Whenever there is joy or something to be celebrated, people will dance. In other words, any place where people can effortlessly begin a dance will for sure be filled with the blessings of everyone's happiness. She wasn't looking for flowers and applause. All she wanted was to see her audience smile. Right. The same as what Mr. Kasani believes. I was completely moved by what she had said, so I started taking dance lessons from her. And later on, I began to dance here in her stead. Before she retired, she told me, for as long as you live, never forget what dance means to others. This is why Mr. Zubair and I never intended to listen to the academia. Even though it ended up causing everyone a whole lot of trouble, thankfully, everything worked out in the end. Although, I do have a small regret. Yeah, even though she has already decided to stop fighting with her father, they never managed to have a real conversation with each other. Before he left, Mr. Sharif looked like he had a lot on his mind. He probably has a lot of things he wants to say, but will now perhaps never get a chance to. Yeah, but I still hope that things can change. It never hurts to have hope. You and Paimon are more than welcome to keep attending our shows. Who knows? Next time, you might see Inaya on the stage.
Are you still worried about Inaya? Let's be sure to come back often. Who knows? Maybe things will have worked out for her.
I'd like to introduce you to our newest member, Hinaya.
Hello, everyone.
She'll be dancing for us from now on, so please give her your support.
Hinaya's taken her place on the stage! Oh, Paimon wonders how she'll look when she starts dancing. When you stop and think about it, happy endings like this sure aren't easy to come by. Nilou's efforts, everyone's wisdom, Inaya's determination? Huh? What do you mean by that? You do have a point there. The whole demolition thing was going overboard, but he really could have banned Nilou and the others from dancing. If he really wanted to be ruthless, he could have done some real damage, even without winning the debate. Oh well, it's not like we can understand how people like him think. Let's focus on watching the performance. Huh? Wait, look who the cat dragged in! Isn't that Inaya's father?
Oh, it's you two. I don't have much to do today, so I just came to look around this place.
Are you looking for Inaya?
No, I am simply here to watch a performance. There is no need to trouble her. Well, I was for a time. My loss at the debate caused quite the loss of face for the academia, so there was a period of unrest. I used this opportunity to suggest that my superiors temporarily suspend me from duty. Otherwise, the rumors would probably persist for even longer.
Suspended from duty?
Yes, I am temporarily unemployed. However, I now have an abundance of time, so I can afford to come here and watch a show. I admit that I do not understand the magic that this theater possesses, but my curiosity has been piqued. I still cannot forget that young lady's perseverance. Inaya would almost certainly mature in the presence of such a person. There are no parents who do not worry about their children. I suppose she managed to hit a weak spot of mine. Never mind. I do not have the right to say that.
You're already here, so you might as well go see her.
No, that is not necessary. I will take my leave after the show concludes. Do not tell her that I was here.
Come on. Who knows if you'll get a chance like this again?
But...
Huh?
You said you were going to make peace with your past. Show your father how much you've grown. Don't be nervous. Everyone at Zubair Theater has your back. Hey, let's go somewhere else. We should give them some space.
You sure they'll be okay?
I don't know, but I think we should have faith in them.
Yes, Inaya. I have something for you. I'm still learning. It's hardly a masterpiece, but it's yours, if you'll take it. You don't have to take it. It's fine. Never mind.
Let's have a heart-to-heart, Father.
Like father, like daughter. They're both so awkward with their feelings.
Yeah, she probably would have snuck away as well if I didn't drag her back.
Do you think they'll be able to reconcile?
I'm not sure. A complete reconciliation may also not be the best thing for them right now. All those years of arguments and misunderstandings can't be settled overnight. It might be best if they continue to keep some distance for now. But no matter where their hearts and bodies may be, they will always be family. All I wish for them is to be able to one day tap into the warmth of that bond. Oh, by the way, everyone's really thankful to you for helping out with the debate. So, we made you a little something. Hope you'll like it.
This Zubair Theater? Whoa! This is amazing! It's so detailed and polished!
We've also never made anything this complicated before. Mr. Zubair and Mr. Kasani took charge of the design, while Inaya and I made all the little pieces with the help of others. Miss Reika or Miss Nadia made and assembled the centerpiece. As adventurers, you two will doubtlessly travel to many more lands and see many more things. That's why we hope that your time at Zubair Theater will become a fond memory of your journey. You two are welcome back anytime.
We'll come back and watch you dance whenever we get the chance.
You're welcome. And there's no need to be so polite. You learned fast. Come on, take it. This is the story of you and me. It's a tale that I'll never, ever forget.